When the door burst open and Emily stormed into the living room with a suitcase in one hand and a crystal ashtray in the other, no one even had time to stand up. The ashtray pre-war, a family heirloom passed down from her maternal grandmother and perched on the mantel for decades, flew straight at her older brother's forehead. "You knew," she whispered, her voice trembling not with tears but with fury. "All this time you knew. And you stayed silent." The glass shattered with a ring so sharp it sounded like the house itself screamed. Her mother let out a choked cry and clapped her hands over her ears. Her father rose, not to defend anyone, but to step away from the blood dripping onto the rug, careful not to stain his trousers. Blood trickled from a gash above Mark's eyebrow, yet he didn't flinch. He stared at his sister like she was a ghost, part fear, part heavy regret. "I tried," he finally said. And in those two words lived everything: betrayal, lies, years stolen from her. This wasn't just a family dinner. It was a trial. And all of them, her mother pale-lipped in her armchair, her father with his calm, detached posture, even Mark with blood on his face, were not family. They were the accused. Emily never planned to return to this house. Not after everything. But when the lawyer called and said her father, on his deathbed, wanted to give her something in person, she didn't ask what it was. She already knew it wouldn't be a gift. It would be one final reminder of how easily this family sacrificed truth for the sake of comfort. The house on Blueberry Lane hadn't changed since she'd left for college 15 years ago. Same yellow shutters, same porch with the creaky rocking chair where her father used to read the Wall Street Journal every morning. Even the scent was identical: coffee, beeswax, and something faintly sweet and stale, as if time itself had been sealed under glass. She arrived at 7, as requested. Dinner. Family. A tradition she once believed in before it all fell apart. Mark opened the door himself. He looked older than his 45 gray at the temples, deep lines around his eyes, his suit hanging loosely on his frame. He didn't hug her. Just nodded and said, "Mom's glad. Dad, well, in his own way, so is he." She stepped inside without answering. In the living room, an old record played Moon River. Her mother had always loved that song. Said it reminded her of better days. "Emily." Marian rushed toward her, but stopped just short, as if afraid her daughter might vanish again. "You've changed so much." "No more than you have, Mom." She didn't mean to be cruel. But the words came out anyway. Because in this woman, once strong, once direct, now lurked cowardice. The very kind that had let it all happen. Her father appeared in the dining room doorway, holding a wine glass. "Sit down," he said, no smile. "We have things to discuss." On the table, roast turkey with cranberry sauce, mashed potatoes, corn. A Thanksgiving feast. Though it was just an ordinary November Tuesday. "Why did you stage this charade, Dad?" Emily asked, not touching her food. "It wasn't me. It was you. You left. You never answered a single call or letter. We didn't even know if you were alive." "Did you ask Mark?" Silence. Only the scrape of a fork against a plate. "I came because the lawyer said you wanted to give me something personally. So, let's skip the reunion act. Just tell me, what is it?" Her father poured himself more wine. Then slowly, as if weighing each word. "You're right. I knew. Everything. From the very beginning." Her heart froze, not from pain, but from confirmation. She'd carried that suspicion for years. But hearing it from his lips? That was a blow she still wasn't ready for. "Why?" she whispered. "Because you were just a child. Because we thought we were protecting you. Because it was easier." "Easier?" She shot to her feet. "Easier to let him keep going? Easier to lie to me that everything was fine? Easier to watch me flinch every morning, terrified to walk into the bathroom because I never knew if he'd be there? Easier?" Her mother began to sob, quiet, soundless tears, as if she'd cried them 1,000 times already. "We thought he'd changed," she said. "After you left. He didn't change. He just lost access." Emily turned to Mark. "And you? You knew too. You were older. You could have stopped him." Mark lowered his head. "I tried talking to him. But he said if I told anyone, he'd destroy you. That people would think that you wanted it." "Don't finish that sentence," she cut in. I've heard it all before. She walked to the fireplace, picked up the ashtray, held it like a weapon, then looked at all three of them, her father, silent for reputation's sake, her mother, silent for the illusion of peace, her brother, silent out of fear. You all stayed quiet, each for your own reasons. But the result was the same. I lost my childhood. I lost trust. I lost you. We didn't want to, her mother began. Enough. You did want to. You made your choice. And now, so do I. She turned and walked out. Behind her, her father shouted, Emily, wait. You have to see this. She didn't stop. But in the foyer, a package waited, no name, just a brown envelope with a clasp. She opened it in the car. Inside, a letter. From him. The man she no longer called uncle. From Jason Hill. Forgive me. I didn't know it would destroy you. I thought you'd understand. She crumpled the letter and tossed it into the glove compartment. But she didn't drive away. She sat gripping the steering wheel as rain began to patter against the windshield. She returned an hour later. The house was silent. Her father sat by the fire, staring into the flames. Her mother had gone upstairs. Mark stood in the kitchen, holding a glass of water as if trying to wash something off his skin. Why did you show me that letter? Emily asked. Because he died 3 months ago. And he left you everything, his house in Santa Barbara, a savings account, paintings. He wanted you to know. He regretted it. Regret? She laughed bitterly. Regret doesn't give back a childhood, Dad. No. But it can give you a chance to start over. For you. Not for us. She looked at him, really looked, for the first time in years. Without hatred. And you? Do you regret it? Every single day. But forgiveness isn't mine to claim. It's yours to give. She was silent for a long time. Then she said, I don't forgive you. But I don't want to carry this anymore. What will you do? I'll sell the house. The money will go to a foundation supporting victims of domestic abuse. And you'll live with this. All 3 of you. Mark nodded. No objections. No excuses. Thank you for coming, her father said. I didn't come for you. I came to reclaim my right to stay silent, not out of fear, but by choice. The next morning, she left. No goodbyes. No tears. In her pocket, keys to a house in Santa Barbara. She knew she'd never go there. Some places can't be cleansed. They can only be left behind. But for the first time in 15 years, she felt not relief, not anger, but peace. The very thing they'd been willing to sacrifice, everything for, except the truth. A week after the dinner, Emily sat on the porch of her small lakeside home in Vermont. She hadn't told her parents where she lived, not out of fear, but because it no longer mattered. Her life here was quiet, predictable. She worked as a family therapy counselor. The irony wasn't lost on her. She helped others untangle the very knots her own family had never dared to face. One morning, a package arrived. No return address. Inside, a worn photo album and another letter. This one from her mother. My dear Emily, I don't know if you'll read this. But if you do know this, I'm not making excuses. Only explaining. Your Uncle Jason was your father's younger brother. We all loved him. He was charismatic, generous, full of life. When you were 7, he moved in with us temporarily. He'd lost his job, split from his wife. We thought we were saving him. Then we noticed how withdrawn you became. How you stopped talking to us. How you'd lock yourself in your room. One night, I found him outside your door. He said he was just checking if you were asleep. I believed him. Because I didn't want the truth. Later, you went to summer camp. Came back a different person. You said you never wanted to see him again. We asked why. You said you already know. Your father confronted him. Jason left. We thought it was over. But you left home at 18 and never returned. We stayed silent, not because we didn't love you, but because we were ashamed. Ashamed we didn't protect you. Ashamed we didn't believe you sooner. Forgive us. Even if you never do, I'll always love you. Mom. Emily folded the letter and slipped it back into the envelope. She didn't cry. She just sat, watching the lake calm on the surface, deep beneath, hiding everything, weeds, fish, old sunken branches. 2 months later, Emily received a call from the estate attorney. The Santa Barbara house had sold. The funds were transferred to the nonprofit she'd chosen, a foundation supporting children who'd survived psychological and physical abuse in the home. One evening, she got a message from Mark, the first in 15 years. "Hey, I've been in therapy for a year now. Trying to understand why I couldn't protect you. Not asking for forgiveness. Just wanted you to know I'm changing." She didn't reply right away. Thought about it. Then typed, "Thank you for saying that. That's already a start." Families don't break from a single blow. They crack over years through silence, unspoken words, the fear of saying no. Sometimes the rupture is quiet. Someone moves away, stops calling, simply disappears from dinner conversation. But sometimes, rarely, someone returns. Not for reconciliation, but for truth. Because without truth, reconciliation is just a beautiful lie. Emily no longer carried anger. She carried memory. And memory isn't the same as pain. Memory can be a lesson, a lighthouse, even a gift. She no longer waited for her family to change. But she had changed herself. And that was enough.